for Miss Ruth Connell.
She's a black magic woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a black magic woman.
Yeah. Black magic woman.
She's a black magic woman. Said she wanted her own panel.
I want to work with the Robin Three.
She's a black magic woman. And she got a thing for bass player Mike.
Come on, Mike.
She's such a black magic woman.
Get on that, Mike.
I don't feel very good about that.
Yeah, nothing stopping Mikey.
She's a black magic woman. It's just flirting with the bass player right in front of me.
This is part of the bit. This is really happening. Oh my God.
Now we're not talking, but how could you say that with that beautiful face?
Yeah, Mike has a beautiful face.
Ruth Connell, everyone.
Ruth Connell.
Hi.
So was there a conversation where you said to creation?
Well, no, we know there was. Was it in person or a strongly worded letter? That's what's all.
How did you get out of our panel?
I know, and actually, it's been so long since I did a solo panel. I don't know what to do with myself.
That's a line, you know it.
We were saying you were like, I can't do it.
I just can't take it anymore. No, I don't know what happened. They obviously had a lull in the schedule, and they needed me to fill in an extra wee half hour.
I love it. I love it. I love you doing it.
Oh, see you later. Bye. Hi. Will you take this ring?
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome. It's a jelly ring. I don't remember what. Oh, there's one on the floor. I'm not going to waste it. 10-second rule. Yeah, I said it first. I'm not a bit sure about the stool though. There's been a lot of buns on this stool. Maybe not now. Maybe I'll rethink this. Hold on. Just talk amongst yourselves. Especially at the back when you can't even see what is going on here. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, Luke. Congratulations, these are for you. Don't say I'm not good to you. Hi. How are you? It's a Sunday, and you should all be in church. Instead, you're here with us in Team Naughty Pants. Are you awake at the back? Oh, you are. Are you awake at the front? Well done. Who's on after me? Is it J&J?
Mark.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Hello.
Your son.
What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
My name's Addie, and my question for you is, what was your favorite and least favorite scene to film on Supernatural?
My favorite scene, I'm just checking my hair. It's like a great mirror. Do you know what I mean?
It looks fabulous, by the way.
That's me playing for time to answer your question. But nowadays, what happens when I do that is I forget questions. Any other women feel the same? Just me? Anyone else in the I don't care club? I can't choose my favorite scene because that would be like Sophie's Choice when there were so many favorite ones. Just off the top of my head, I do remember filming a scene. Now maybe you can tell me which episode it was in. It's a scene where I'm sitting at a table opposite Jared and Jensen. Because what I can tell you, in this scene, sitting opposite Jared and Jensen, the table did not sit still for 1 second. It was up, it was down, it was like the table was possessed, and it was Jared and Jensen messing around. I don't know what episode that was, but that was fun. Is that a good? Does that do a good kind of?
Yes.
A good attempt at a sort of an answer to your kind of
Yes,
question?
thank you.
Okay, nice to see you. Bye. Where are you going now? Where do you go now? Where are you going now? Where's your seat? Come on, show me where you came from. It's okay. I only bite the first time. Where have you been? You're late! It's my favourite thing to do. Some of you come late now just so I'll shout at you. Are you cold? Oh, there you are. Just make sure you go back safely. There's demons and all sorts around. You never know what could happen. Okay, lucky number 6. There you go. You're welcome. Poor thing. Hi. Something more interesting going on in your book, sir? George R. Martin, Game of Thrones. I actually haven't seen it. Can you tell me what happens? Okay. No, but you're reading it just now during my panel. So it's obviously a very, very interesting show, is what I'm going to say. Oh, so you've seen it before. You've seen it all before. So now he's reading his book. Nice to see you. I'll excuse you because you've got slightly red hair. With a slight auburn tinge. Where are you going? Oh, you're just late? Okay, that's fine. Hi. Oh, joking aside, I wasn't at my table just now because, funnily enough, Jared and Jensen were running late. I mean, like, that never happens. Because, you know, they just give you all so much love, it takes them longer than we think. So I will be at my table for like 10 minutes after this, in case you went and I wasn't there, okay? Apologies for that. It was their fault. It was boys' fault. Or usually Misha's, specifically. Hi. Hi. Oh, hi. There's lots more gingers up the back. How did that happen? Hi.
Camera's like,
Hi.
when you shave.
Hi. Hi.
Where's
Hi.
Yeah, camera's lost your photo.
Can I ask what it is you're looking up on your phone?
It's figuring it out.
Good. I hope it was worth it. Chris, what did Chris do? I want to see more about what Chris did. Who's Chris? Okay. Chris had to retake the picture. I love you too. Nice to see you. Hi. You're a proper. Love it. Nice to see you. Hi. Answer another question at some point. Hi. I'll just keep you guessing. Hi. I know. I do look at red-haired children in the street and think of stealing them. Is that wrong? I've got a fetish. Your hair is beautiful. See, there's so many different colors of red here. Yours is like it's a real strawberry. You're gorgeous. You look like the actress Kelly Riley from Yellowstone. Oh, you should check it out. Hi. See, I don't get to do this when I'm on stage with Rob and Rich. They do it all properly. They don't like stand on the chairs or anything. Finally, a spotlight! Somebody give me a song. I put a spell on you. Thank you, whoever that was. Now I'm blinded, I'm just seeing stars. I can just literally see the spotlight, that's all I can see. Might bump into things. Hi, you're next. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
I'm Katie. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
How far away is that?
It's like 2.5 hours.
It's not far.
With traffic.
Right now I can see a lot of spotlights. I'm just coming really close so I can see your face. You look a little bit Scottish. Does anyone ever tell you that? Yeah.
Irish.
Yeah, I mean, we're like 20 miles apart.
Yeah.
I'll sit back and feel like I'm intimidating.
Well. My question for you is, I love your character. I would think a show about like her as a human, finding her witch powers, and eventually becoming like Queen of Hell would be a really cool spin-off.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to revisit that character?
That's exactly, honestly, what I pitched to, when I did the Winchesters. Robbie Thompson is just such a lovely person, and he phones you and has a chat with you, and I was like, I pitched the idea because I could think it could be a series, but at least one episode where you went back to Scotland and you saw Rowena learning, and just there's so much interesting material from that time. And I don't say this word lightly, but it's true. There was a Holocaust of women. 40,000 women were killed by the various churches. Catholics saying, we know how to kill witches. Protestants saying, we know how to kill witches because you pay 10% of your earnings to be in either church, and they were looking for membership. So all these women were accused of having witchcraft. To begin with, the churches said there was no such thing as witchcraft. Then when they realized they could monetize it, they said there was. And it's these women's fault, and so we'll burn them or we'll drown them, and if they float, all those crazy things. So to be around at that time would be, to go back as far as that, or would be really interesting. And then in Scotland, things change over time, but in Scotland, women would say they would do things to kind of insinuate that they did have powers. Especially if you were on a little croft on your own and maybe your husband, somebody passed away and you're left, and then you're going to have somebody literally come to your front door and like steal you or kill you and just take your croft. So the one kind of deterrent that they would have would be witchcraft, people being more scared of them. And then there's the real kind of actual, is there magic? Is there, in paganism, and working with nature and the earth, and in many cases people were, apothecaries that kind of, segues into witchcraft, and like herbalists and people who would cure people, and then that also was dangerous. If you were seen to have more power than God, somebody who should have died, and you kind of performed, you cleanse their wound, and then they survived, and it's like, are you working with Satan? All kinds of, so there's so many kind of avenues to explore. I do think it could be a great show. And I actually did at one point speak to the author of a book. It was maybe it's called The Last Witch of Scotland or something. So it wouldn't have been a Rowena story. It would just have been more about a woman. But I thought, and the problem with me is, unlike Felicia, who just gets an idea and completely follows it through and makes it happen whilst also doing all of the rest of her life. I'm struggling just to do the rest of my life right now. But I did entertain the idea of trying to produce that myself, something, and I'm not saying I never would. I'm also really excited to maybe play a real human at some point, and do other things, but absolutely would. And my idea was kind of like your idea, the idea I pitched for a past episode of seeing young Rowena. And I wanted them to do it like Benjamin Button, where it's Kate Blanchett, but they just CGI'd her facelift on. That's because I don't want anybody else to play Rowena.
I think we would all watch it.
Thank you, I appreciate your question. Thanks for listening to me waffle on.
Hello, my name is Kyla, and first of all, you are absolutely beautiful.
Thanks, I'll take it.
Second of all, what is your favorite perfume or scent to wear, and what do you think Ruth's would be?
My wouldn't be blah 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 blah.
What's your favorite perfume or scent to wear, and what do you think Ruth's would be?
Perfume, Rowena's.
Rowena, sorry.
Ruth, I think. Yeah. I actually, for my Secret Santa, I put down on my list, I would like some essential rose oil. They've now discovered that rose oil, that exposure to rose oil can increase brain volume, right? Literally increase grey matter. They've discovered that literally, rosemary was always for remembrance. They've discovered that if you do aromatherapy during the night with patients, rosemary, and I don't know if it's lavender, but it's definitely rosemary, maybe thyme, I'm not sure, can increase memory. Isn't that amazing? Like the old wives' tale, the old witch's tale, there's actually something in it. So now, and especially, it's not because I do love perfumes, so many of the fancy perfumes or the perfumes that I've worn in the past, so many of them have, this should be fun, but this is your chemistry lesson for the day. They have so many endocrine disruptors for women in them. They have toxic elements in them, they have chemicals that we now know that about our makeup, and I really try, I don't think it has to be fancy, I try and buy clean things, that are not harmful. So right now, I'm really interested in kind of creating my own scent using some of these aromatherapy things that might actually help my brain fog, rather than cause problems in the endocrine system for women and men, by the way. So, sorry for that's a bit of a serious answer, but I like your question. For Rowena, it would be like she'd be wearing one of those perfumes from the 70s, like opium. Do you know what I mean? Or poison. There's something really, 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 really thick and like sexy. That's what I think she would wear. Thank you. I really appreciate your question, because you got me to speak about some things I'm really interested in right now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know that you've got a really loyal fan base when they stay with you through endocrine disruption conversations. It's like, yes! Thank you guys. Hi.
Hi. I'm Susan from El Paso, Texas.
And what's your podcast called?
Susie's Enchanted Crossroads.
Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. I'm going to give it a listen. I think your subject matter is very interesting.
Thank you. I actually interviewed Mr. Steve Hine, and we talked about Seek Anomaly.
Yeah.
And when we were chatting, he said he really thought about you first in his project.
Yeah.
And I have finished all of the
episodes.
I know that we're like the observer.
Mm-hmm.
Just were you tapping into inner Rowena when you were talking to us about tranquility spells, or more along your lines of?
Yeah, so Steve Hine was at college with Eric Kripke, they're really good friends, and he produces the official Supernatural Rewatch podcast that Rob and Rich do, that you might have heard of. So because he met me, or watched the show or whatever, and I've met him through doing a guest on the podcast and stuff, he asked me to record a series called Seek Anomaly. And if you like any kind of breath work or meditation, there's also world building and storytelling within it. And so it's based on science. There's neural beats, there's frequencies, there's real breath, box breathing techniques, there's real stuff in it, but it's all under the guise of this story and these characters, and I might put you to sleep. If I don't put you to sleep this afternoon, you'll know the podcast won't work. But if this does make you sleepy, then you should listen to it. It's very therapeutic and soothing, and I think Steve's a really nice person, really genuinely trying to do something interesting and helpful. And it got nominated for an award within the healthcare podcast something or another. I can't remember what it's called. So thank you for asking the question. No, I was pregnant or I had just given birth. So I was just trying to think of breathing, because you can't always breathe when you're like got a bump, right? And or afterwards you're too tired. So I was really, it was a good exercise in being in the moment. I didn't over prepare, which I tend to do. A lot of women do, because there's fewer jobs for us and we really try when we get them in acting. But for this, Steve asked me to do it. I felt quite relaxed about it. And so I really did go into the recording studio and trust it. And sometimes, it's just in the moment, I would think of some of the advice that she's kind of giving through. Take a deep breath, just know everything's okay. whatever it is she's saying. And I did think about if Margaret would ever listen to it when I'm very, very, very old, or you know what I mean? Or so I did some of it. She was my audience sometimes.
It's
In
beautiful.
my head, yeah. Sometimes if you're nervous, if you're ever on stage or doing a speech, it's sometimes good to pick one person. Have you heard of a singer called Ruthie Henschel in the West End in London? She had to sing, you know, I dreamed a dream and time gone by. That everyone in the whole world has sung. And she had to sing it at Andrew Lloyd Webber's like anniversary, 25th anniversary celebration at Wembley, like our biggest stadium in the UK. And I remember seeing her talk about it, and she'd had to do hypnotherapy because she was so nervous. And so she just picked one person in the audience to sing it to, and it was like it was her husband or whoever it was at the time. So I think sometimes I do things like that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. This is fun without Robin Rich. I can waffle on about anything. Usually I'm like just kind of teeing the ball up to them so they can see something funnier than me. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I'm Scarlett, and my question is, I mean, there's been so many iconic witches in the past, including Rowena. Which iconic witch do you think Rowena would be friends with, and why?
Good question. I think that's what's kind of lacking. I'm sorry, I was watching her Jace. Did I know you were a left-hander? Aww, I love left-handed men. Left-handed men can think more like women because they can feel and think at the same time. Like Obama. Bye. Anyway, what was the question?
Basically, which like iconic witch would
she be friends with,
and why?
So it's kind of, Rowena she had a few tough breaks earlier in her life, and she's not maybe the most trusting person, and therefore not the most to be trusted. That's usually the way it goes, right? And the Grand Coven really did a number on her,
I know.
And and that, I just feel like it's not, that's probably what's kind of not helping the situation, is her lack of real female friendship and camaraderie and trusting anyone else. I did think that with the darkness, there was this potential for mutual respect, but then, she basically smited me, and tried to kill everyone. But for a second I was like, oh, here's someone who there's maybe a little bit of an understanding with, maybe because I like Emily Swallow so much as well. But if I think about like Bewitched and Honora, the feminist in me likes to think that Rowena might just sit back and be like, fair play, and kind of not, if she didn't do anything directly to hurt me, I wouldn't do anything to directly hurt her. Do you know what I mean? I like to think that she's at least capable of that. And so, I think like Honora, and I did think there was a little bit of that makeup when I did the Winchesters. It was slightly Honora, from Bewitched, the mum. And that's going to be my answer. Right. What other witches are there? Tell me them, who I'm not remembering right now.
Like Linda, Alpha / like Wicked Witch of the West. Of course, there's the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, I like is that Holly Marie? Is that Charmed? Oh no, that's different.
Sanderson
That's
is Hocus
Pocus. I like Holly Marie. We had some vodka together in an airport.
That's the Hallowells.
Charmed, yeah.
Yeah,
She's a witch though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Who else?
Technically speaking, like a lot of like the Disney female villains count, like Ursula, Maleficent, whoever said that.
I love Maleficent. Oh my god. That's Rowena's girl crush.
Especially after like the Maleficent movie, I feel like they would have a good bond.
Yeah. And it's because she was also a mother as well, right? That's the whole story. Yeah. I'm gonna say Maleficent's her girl crush.
Right.
Thank
also,
you.
You are glamorous, by the way.
Thank you. Bye bye. I don't know if she said glamorous or hilarious, but I'll take the both. Hi.
Hi Ruth, I'm Amelia. I was wondering what your reaction was to Rowena's death, especially like how it happened.
Which one?
I was thinking like when Sam killed her.
So that was my most favourite because I was part of it. My least favourite was when they killed me off screen and I just saw charred remains on the floor and Pellegrino calling me a witch bitch or a ginger witch bitch or something. And that was like, you got to understand, it was 5 o'clock in the morning in Scotland. I was live tweeting, or 3 o'clock in the morning, I was live tweeting and watching it. And it's really hard to see yourself be killed off screen. And I was looking at the charred remains on the floor, and I was like, the skeleton had like really broad shoulders and narrow hips. I was like, that's not me. It's not Rowena. That's what I thought. So I choose to live in denial sometimes. I find that helps in my life. So that was my least favorite death. It actually could have upset me. But the one with Sam, she was part of it. And she was the one that, she was the one controlling it in a way. And so it was fated. And that I can get on board with, and I really enjoyed shooting it. I feel like they really tried, everyone in the whole production especially. I happened to do ADR when they had already done all the music and everything, and they really had to give this beautiful kind of Celtic theme song. I mean, they really did it up, so I think people feel a lot of emotion for a lot of reasons during that episode. And then, after I died, I already knew what was going to happen, so Ruth was not sad. I was quite excited to see what would happen. Then, the episode after it, I really loved. I thought it was such a strong Rowena episode, and I'm not in it. Where Shoshana, and they go in, and I'm like, oh, that's Rowena's cupboard. I never saw it, because that's, it wasn't there. I never did any scenes in it. And like, I really loved. I thought there was a lot of thought and care, and I think I get lots of feedback about that, and I think it's because they really took care of the characters there in a really great way. And so I actually really love everything about it. I don't think I would change. One thing I would change. One thing I would change is when I was filming it. I'm like on the precipice, like Titanic. That's what in my head anyway. So in reality, I was up quite high in a cold Vancouver day, up really high, and there's like a mat. Now, I'm 5'2", so it's still quite far. 5 feet is quite far to fall, and I had to fall and put my hands out and kind of control my fall. Like Rob Hater does a really good job and explained it to me. And then at the last minute, turn my head to the side. Now, I try not to take it personally that it's like my nose that sticks out, but apparently everyone's does. I don't know if that's true, but mine definitely does. So I was thinking so much about doing it, and the idea was I had to fall as long as I could possibly bear it and then try and do it at the last minute, which is kind of difficult because your body's got its own instincts about saving itself, funnily enough. And I think the second take I did, I went and I just went so far, I really committed, and I forgot to turn my head. And I really bumped my nose, which was really embarrassing. And then I did that thing where I got really quickly and pretended I was fine, but I wasn't. And I was like, I'm like, oh, I'm so sore. I'm lucky I didn't break it. So that's the one thing I would change, is I would turn my head more quickly off camera. Thanks for letting me relive that video. Thank you. These are the real dangers on set. These are the things that happen that you just, gosh.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Kelly. With the character of Rowena, it evolved so much over the seasons. Which was your favorite season with Rowena?
I mean, at the beginning I was just so excited that I got this part, and that they were excited as I kept doing more, that they seemed to be excited and kept adding more, and I ended up doing 12 episodes in my first season. That was so exciting for me and for Rowena. That was wonderful. And then season 11 was so fun. I remember at the end of season 11, Phil Secretia said it was like herding cats. It was like, you've got me, Jared, Jensen, Rob, Mark, in confined spaces for hours on end. The season finale, and there was whiskey in the trailer. And, do you know what I mean? It was super fun. And then season 13 is when, I think that's when I just wanted to marry my Republican and live in Boca Raton and drink martinis or something, is that right? And I always felt that part of the storyline where Rowena is no longer trying to get the Grand Coven back and make the Mega Coven, and she's no longer trying to stop the darkness, killing everything. I felt that season where Rowena had given up on any big ambitions, and she's just kind of, just wanting to live this sheltered life. I found that the hardest to do because I didn't have this big super objective that Rowena always seemed to have, this ambition, and it was gone. It was such a small ambition, really, in a way. So I found that quite difficult because I think it was difficult for Rowena, kind of a no man's land. And then I don't remember what happens after that. season 14. And 15 is the last one. So 15 was awesome because I knew what was going to happen. I'm just really, really sad, like everybody, that COVID happened. And I was supposed to go back up, and you were supposed to see me in hell. And can you just imagine what a badass bitch Rowena would be in hell? Yes. Like, she's learned so much from, when you watch people and it's really easy to criticize them, like she criticized Crowley, Fergus, be a bloody king, and just how when you've seen someone do it and you've really thought about it for a long time about how you would do it better, wouldn't it be so fun just to have seen Rowena in hell for a little while, like tickling people to death with wet tea bags? Do you know what I mean? Like fun stuff. And then, so I'm just sad that didn't happen. But in my head it did.
In most of ours it did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jem. I'm a musical theater major in Westchester University, and I was wondering about your experience in theater.
Come here. Jem. How'd you spell it? Jem. Come on. Hi. I love musical theater people. Because you're all better singers than I am. What's your favorite song?
Currently it is Think of Me. I'm trying to do the West End cadences instead of the Broadway cadences.
Can you sing us all a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that, I don't want to stress you out.
No, that's fine.
Flowers fade, the birds of summer fade, they have their seasons, so do we. But please promise me that sometimes you will think,
That's my answer. Hi. Oh, did that wake everyone up? Ooh, hi.
Hi, my name is Madison, and I have a question. What was your favorite scene to film with Mark?
With Mark?
Yeah.
I liked the very first scene that we did. I liked a lot of scenes, and I'm just saying this to be just kind of naughty, just tell a little tale. So I'm kind of in my shackles, and I'm like, it's the very beginning of Rowena, and I really, as an actor, I really went for it. I was really, it didn't say all those things in the script, and it didn't have, I meowed at one point. Do you know what I mean? I was really like, at the risk of embarrassing myself with a new, with the show's producer, Bob Singer, but I really went for it. And, I really appreciated there was some, it felt like there was some space for it on set. People were respectful and Mark was respectful, and then the reverse, of course, is the kind of Hitchcock shot that goes in, zoom, and he goes, mother? You know what I mean? Do you all know what I mean? And so we did my scene, and then we had Mark to do that bit, and Bob Singer, it was kind of the last scene I actually filmed in that episode, and Bob Singer said, Ruth, you've been very, very good, so you can go home now. Mark, you've got to stay. And he was being funny, of course, because it's his shot, it's his reversal. But I thought Mark was a good sport about it, and it was our first ever time, and there was like not a lot of back and forth or anything, but it set everything for how our relationship would develop, and I really don't think it could have gone better than it did with him on that day. So I'm really appreciative of that, and Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So tomorrow is a full moon, the harvest moon.
In Aries.
And
Bet you didn't know I would know that.
And I guess I'm just wondering if you yourself were a witch.
If I will howl at the moon tomorrow night, most likely. More than likely. Anyone else with me?
What would your full moon ritual be?
Oh, chocolate, bath, champagne, I don't know what, in any kind of order, no. I do think it's interesting to see the full moon, and especially as women, we're kind of, we're tuned to the moon sometimes, I think. And the moon pulls the tides, and I think it's interesting. If I were to do it, sometimes I do, like I'll do an online workshop if somebody else is running it or something. And during lockdown, I did a couple of things with like a new moon or full, I kind of did stuff. Do you have a ceremony you do?
I've done a few full moon ceremonies. I usually do more like eclipse ceremonies.
Yeah.
Because you need to do like cleansing rituals during eclipses.
Yeah.
But the harvest moon is big on releasing a lot of things you've been holding on to.
Oh.
Like any stressors or things like that. It's a very good place to like let go of a lot of things and start over with a few other things.
Yeah. One thing I do like to do sometimes is get a piece of paper and fold it down the middle, and on the left-hand side write down what I would like to bring in, and on the right-hand side write down everything I'm prepared to let go of to make space for the other things to come in. And I think that's quite a good thing to do on the full moon, because it is about shedding things, and it's also allowing, if you do shed something, there's room for something else. Something like that.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Are you still, you're still with me?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Another redhead.
Yes,
I feel like
it's like we're twinning.
we're taking over, yeah.
My name's Lillian, and I was wondering if you had, I'm sure you've gotten similar questions, but if you had any sort of the powers that Rowena did, what sort of things you would use that for?
Oh, if I could actually do witchcraft. I mean, how do you think I got the job? Good question. Gosh, right now, don't want to get too heavy. I would like, I think the beautiful thing about doing something like this is we're kind of returned in a way to a childlike state. You know, when you walk into the photo op room for the first time and you got your photograph with Jensen, or Jared, or Misha, or Mark, or me, or whoever, and you're kind of like, it's kind of thrilling, and you're kind of like, there's a lot of love there, there's just excitement, we're here to celebrate something together and have a good time. And I think there's something quite pure about it, about that childlike state of it, to have, however, you could be 65 years old and still really excited. Oh, there he is. I do think if I could, what we have, that kind of piece of magic that we have access to by being here, can you imagine a world leader is about to do something, make a decision, and you could just kind of go, and give them that childlike awe and wonder, and can you imagine how different the decisions? Can you imagine if they even had if they had any access to that whatsoever? Childlike love and enjoyment, that would be what I would like to do. Zap world leaders at crucial points with love and excitement. Hello, boys. Hello. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, that was a great answer.
We've covered world leaders, endocrine systems, we had a musical theatre performance. It's been a good time, right?
Why am I not surprised?
It really sounds like it. I heard that you went out in the audience and did what you do.
I did. It was lovely. They've got lovely faces at the back.
Yeah, you sound surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, that woman right there is Ruth.